I think one of the problems with announcing policy in these great big swathes like this is that these sort of eye-catching sound bites do capture the attention and get the wrong sort of reception maybe. And if you look deeply behind what's in this plan, there's a lot of good stuff there. But of course, people are going to focus upon the thing that matters to them. And I don't think fluorescent jacketed chain gangs is a particularly good turn of phrase to try and put forward a serious policy.
No, but it's Boris the journalist, isn't it? It's the sort of thing he'd have written in his columns and it would have made great copy. And we know that's what he's good at. I mean, he's good at giving us images and flowery language, but not always so good at delivering. But Colin, let's talk about, what are the real priorities for the police and law and order right now? It certainly isn't this, is it?
No, I think the priorities for the police and law and order now really should be to reflect what the communities they serve actually want and want them to focus upon. And so things in this plan, like having, the Greater Manchester scheme of a burglary means a visit from a police officer, that's not something new. That's something we were doing in the 80s, but it's something the public like and would want. The idea of the tagging and the excess tagging and GPS tagging of convicted burglars and thieves, it's modern technology. It's there to be used. I think that's something that will be popular and may well be effective. But the trouble with all this is that people seize upon the thing that they particularly don't like, and that gets blown up to the top of the agenda. And actually, there's more money here. There's more money for probation services. There's more money for the court services, courts staying open. And a lot of that is to replace cuts that have been made and try and get us somewhere back to the position we were in 10 or 11 years ago. That's true. But nevertheless, we are where we are. And so any increase has got to be something that's welcomed.
Now, we saw quite significant police cuts following 2010. And, the economy was in a terrible mess after the banking crisis. But there have been big promises from this government to rebuild police numbers. How is that recruitment going? Is it actually happening?
It is happening because you've got something like 9,000 new recruits since the policy was announced towards the 21,000 which they trumpeted.
Yeah.
The infrastructure of the police service is something that's been depleted massively over the last 10 years. And that's the real problem, because if you start talking about communities and engaging with communities, their local police station's been sold off. It's a lovely block of flats now. And if you look around London, the number of police stations in London that have gone is just incredible. And it's something that's repeated throughout the rest of the country. So forces that have been short on money have seen these assets that they had, and they've moved the police out of town cheaper sites. But that takes away the policing and the access and the engagement point from the hearts of those communities which they're trying to serve. So, and that's a problem that isn't going to be fixed easily anytime soon.
Some of those in the liberal media make the argument, Colin, and they make it repeatedly, that actually the bobby on the beat, the police on the ground, doesn't really make a difference to crime numbers. And I have to say I'm very, very sceptical of that view. What do you think? Does the presence of police on the street, does it stop low-level crime, which can then lead to other things?
Yes, I think it does. And it works in a number of ways. It's not just about crime. It's about the fact that these officers are able to engage, show a presence, and make people feel safer. And even if the reality is, there were studies done years and years ago saying that a foot patrolling officer passes past a burglary once every 12 years or something like that. That might be the case. But if those people who are seeing the police officers on the street are made to feel safer by it, then that works. And also it's about engagement. And yes, we've gone, everything's on social media now. There are still a number of people who would actually like to have the opportunity to bring their local bobby and have a cup of tea and chew over what's been going on in the area. And I think we've lost that to a great degree.
Welcome to the GB News YouTube channel. You can watch us live 24 hours a day, catch up on your favourite shows, and join in the conversation in the comments below.
Don't forget to subscribe and you'll never miss any of our exclusive content.